Back in action.
Oh no.
Back in action.
Oh no.
Back in action.
Oh no.
Back in action. What's going on, everybody? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Full room, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. I think Ryan West was here first. Thanks, Ryan. Shambot. Whoa, Shambot, good to see you. Holy cow. Runeslinger, good to see you, Anthony. I'll be on the Anthony show coming up. Whenever that drops, coming to Fine Podcatcher YouTube channel near you. Check it out. Check it. Talk about prepping some Delta Green action and long form campaigns. Some other things. So, let's see. Jake, good to see you. Morning. Joe, morning. Mr. Jim 0101. Could that be the Jim? Wayne, love the smell of BS on a Saturday morning. Indeed. Morning. Mr. White, morning. Dorcas, morning. Smell of cat litter and vanilla Coke. You know the deal. I wanted to wake you guys up, so I wore my loudest shirt. Victor, morning. Laramie, morning. Harrigan, morning. What's everybody's handles change or something? What is going on here? Dren, morning. Michael, morning. Morning. Seanception has stopped indeed. Thanks for the sound check, Ryan. Most appreciated. Yeah, everybody's handles are weird. Gabe, morning. Did they do something to YouTube? Miss M. Melnick, good to see ya. Thanks. Repping the brand. You know the deal. A red shirt? Should be an orange. Wayne, are you got a little color tint? YouTube did it. Great. Thanks, YouTube. So weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's all right. I think I know most of you. Because I think that would be Mike. I'm Mike M. I am Mike M. Tim, morning. Odd. Yep, YouTube changes. Great. Thanks, YouTubes. They do something to the YouTube? I guess so. Well. I'm coming back from Game of the Whole Con, if you will. Playing at Mirko's? Oh, boy. Yeah. See what he could do now that he's retired. He might know somebody back at the agency. He just came back from Gamehole Con. I don't want to talk too much about the con itself. It was a great time. Many of the folks in the chat were there. Good to see everybody. And I'm glad to see those. And then those who could not make it, you were missed. For sure. There were questions. Hey, where is this person? And played some games. So I know some people couldn't make it. What a great timing for my throat to get all messed up. It was fun. Yeah. Farty, good to see you. Morning. Jeez, they really... Woo, look at that username. Ha! Wow. Thanks, YouTube. Well, there you go, guys. So Gamehole Con. Games played. I'll go over those very quickly. I played Wednesday, and I'm going to get the nights all mixed up now. It's only been a week, and I'm completely discombobulated. Met folks on Wednesday. Then Wednesday played some Crokinole, thanks to Jim. So if you're not familiar with that, it's a pretty cool kind of game for old people like me. So there you go. John, congratulations. You got a gifted membership from Trumpet. Thanks, Trumpet. Much appreciated. So Wednesday night played Mouse Ritter. Thanks to Mirko Froelich for running that. Digital Hobbit on YouTube if you want to check him out. A good time was had by all. Thursday morning, I ran Shadowdark. That was fun for about 6 people. And then after that, I played in Outgunned Adventures by an individual named Corey Scanlon. He's a local Wisconsin guy. At least I think he's in Wisconsin still. He may have moved, but regardless, he's always at Gamehole Con and runs some pretty interesting games. So I played that. I don't think he's ever seen anybody roll a D6 die pool as bad as me. I've literally rolled 6 dice and never had a pair. Like on multiple occasions, like at least twice for sure. Maybe 5 dice. Okay. 6 dice. I think he was like so flabbergasted he just kept giving me luck because I might have been dead by the first hour. Anyways, it was good. Outgun Adventures. Very Indiana Jones. Corey dresses up like Indiana Jones and has a whip on his side. It's fun. Thursday night, what did I play? Played. Somebody in the chat's going to remind me too, because like, no, dude, you got it all wrong. Let's see. I play. Oh, BattleTech. So Salzwiedel, friend of ours, came in and was going to run like Fabula Ultima or his own game that he done, which is he's very much into the JRPGs and mechs. And so he had done his own game, and I was very vocal about having him run BattleTech for us, or at least ref BattleTech. And he did. 7 of us played. He refed. It was fun. And then Friday came. So Friday morning, I think I had Things from the Flood. Got it right for the first time in like 2 weeks. I always forget what it's called. I was like, Tales from the Flood. It's not Tales, Sean. It's Things. Things from the Flood. With Mr. Craig Brown, who has joined our Discord. He's a local Wisconsin guy. I've played in his Tales from the Loop games. Really good. Highly recommend joining Craig's games if you ever see him on the grid. And then after that, I think I played, I might get my days get mixed up, but I played in Ken Heights. No, I think I played in Pendragon after that. Actually, I think I got those flipped. Pendragon. And people will say, well, how is Pendragon? 6E. It was a premium game, which means I paid more than the average table. It was ran by Andy Cowley. I can't remember. I can't even believe I'm remembering all these details. I can't remember when it's run, but I know who the GM's name was. If you ever have a chance to play an Andy Cowley's, I think he goes by Andrew Cowley, and he is not a member of the Chaosium staff, but he loans his talents to them, if you will. Man, comes from England. I think he resides here in the U.S., but man, that best game of the con. Not, aside from some of the off-book games that some of our distinguished guests in the chat may have run, like Mirko, but it was fantastic. My first time ever playing Pendragon. He really did it up. I mean, it was great. Great experience. I think we had 5 players in that game. Fantastic. Really great. Ran into the Moon Knight and, at a bridge, challenged us to duels, and 3 lost. I think my character won. And, if we lost, we would have to pledge fealty to the Moon Knight for 6 months and a day. Like, just fantastic. And then Saturday, I had Friday afternoon was completely open. Saturday, there was somewhere in the Saturday mix. I think it was Saturday. I played in Ken Heights Knights Black Agents. So Russian oligarch bought Lord Byron's house and was going to go there. And the party was part of his security detail. and then things went kind of sideways from there. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. Oh, Friday night I played Alien off book with buddies of mine here locally. Fun, good times. And then Saturday was the BS Landia Discord soiree. I think that's it. And I behaved. Like nothing got out of control. I didn't overindulge. so yeah, it was good. It was great. It was a fun time. Got to see a lot of people I knew. Always look forward to that. That's the big highlight of the year for me. So thanks for everybody that made the trip. It's always good to see many of you. I know it's not easy and it's not cheap to travel and get a hotel room for 4 nights and things of that nature. So Brett, my old co-host from Gaming MBS, was there Thursday and Saturday, I think, briefly. Like, came in, stayed for a while, left, came back, I think Saturday for a while, and then left. It's good to catch up with Brett and everybody else. So there you go. Did I miss anything? Doc, is it Doc? Is it Doc Hui? Do you know him, Marcus? He's fantastic, man. He's so great. Wednesday girl, good to see ya. These sandals, man, they're killing me. A lovely man and possibly has a bigger collection than Alex Kammer. Is that right? I didn't know he was a big collector. Interesting. You know what I really liked about Andrew, Mr. Cooey, was that he was talking about organized play. And they had surveys at the table that Chaosium was collecting, like feedback. And he was very, very in tune with, in order to have a successful product, you have to demo the product and get people to play. As a matter of fact, he was saying, like, okay, you go into the exhibit hall and you sell books, but, you know, what's the return? You know, is it a good ROI? And he was kind of telling us about it, but he was like, Chaosium is very focused on getting good game masters to demo Chaosium products at cons, because they firmly believe, or at least and Andy does, that that's the way in. That's where you sell the product. You know, get good game masters, demo the game, and then have those folks hopefully be game masters that buy the game, and then they proliferate. So like he's on top of it. Like I love people in the hobby that don't treat it like the weird scientist in the garage that it's not even a good analogy, because the weird scientist in the garage has an entrepreneurial spirit and wants to get it to market and make money and things of that nature and do good. But I just, you know, the tabletop gaming industry for some reason is so weird. And so when you think of like, this would be good and this is the way we should do it, and there's thought behind it, it's like, oh, wow, great. It's refreshing and hopeful, I guess. I don't know. Keith. Hey, Keith. Good morning. How are you? Morning. Michael, I see you. Morning. Cup trickling in. Happy last 2 hours of the week. Ah, indeed. Sean, didn't you play a game Saturday? Mothership? No, I did not play Mothership. Oh, man. There's like the handles are completely lost. Some of these are lost on me, so I apologize. Arthico. Good to see you. Hey, now. Sean, having paid for a game that was great, are you more likely to pay a pro GM to play in a game? We're going to get to that. That's going to be the subject. Is that an OSU shirt? It is not. It is a Go Bag shirt. I pulled it out of my Go Bag. Oh, Koi is in drow. Drow, Cowie. Cowie? Or ow. Okay, whatever. You know who I'm talking about. Drow is in throw? Drow is in throw. Yeah. Reading aid, good to see your handle hasn't changed. I recognize that. Nothing gets me to turn away like the words organized play. Yeah. I think that was it for Gamehole Con. Let's get into the topic, shall we? So last week we started talking about, I don't remember what the topic was last week. Player knowledge versus PC knowledge, and I think Wayne Peacock in the chat brought that up, and then it kind of started skirting in, like much chat does, kind of starts to delve into other areas of the hobby. And one of the things that was brought up was pay to play, because I think I brought up Ginny D's recent video at the time about professional game mastering. And then it started to kind of whoop, and I thought, well, hold on, let's talk about it next week, because it's a decent topic to broach and discuss. So there's two sides to this thing, right? It's becoming a professional game master, or being one, and what that looks like. And then there is, I'm going to pay to be in a group and pay a professional game master, or pay a game master to run games for me. So the first thing that I want to ask to spur discussion is, would you ever first, there's a controversy around this. There's some very strong feelings about this, which is interesting to me. And I don't want to discount some of the opinions that our distinguished guests in the chat would have about this particular topic. But some will say, it's just capitalism invading our hobby. It shouldn't happen. Blasphemy. So one, would you ever consider being a professional game master? Now, with that question, I don't mean like tomorrow, but like in general, maybe you retire, you don't have the need to, because let's face it, being a professional game master is not going to probably, make you a millionaire. And some people, that's not our goals anyway, right? It's just to make a living. Well, so let me rephrase that. Sometimes being a professional game master full time may not be able to pay all the bills that you have. And that's certainly understandable. But part-time or full-time, would you ever consider putting yourself on Start Playing or making your own blog and saying, hey, I'm going to run, here's what my rate is, and putting yourself out there? And if you think, yes, I would, why not? Supplemental income, whatever, great. If you say no, why not? Is it just time? You don't believe in it? What have you? Nervousness? It's a different thing for you. Just interested. There we go. Start there. Okay. All right. Let's go. All right. Right. Strong feelings about RPG topics. Heavens forbid. Right. Forfend. Yes, I know. Right. Ryan says, I paid to play at Gamehole, but I wouldn't pay for a game when there are people giving it away for free. Also, nope. I love it too much to not give it back. For free. Okay, great. All right. I'm currently paying to play in a camp. We're not into the play yet. Hold on, overachievers. I am currently paying to play in a campaign. It's 3.5. Interesting. I'd love to be a paid DM running a West Marches milieu. Okay. All right. Michael says, I would consider it, but not sure I could find the time to prep another game. Totally understand. Personally, if a group has to offer me money to run a game for them, it's got to be because I don't want to play with them. So Jim's priority is playing with people he likes. And he doesn't want to accept money because if he's accepting money, it's probably not playing with people that he appreciates, is what I'm gathering, right? I would only run no prep games. Well, that's interesting. Tim brings up an interesting point, because if you're going to charge money for games, the more prep you do, the more it eats into your kind of hourly return, right? If you're paying $50, say $50 an hour, or $50 for, I think many are like $20 for 4 hours, which is $5 an hour, but you multiply that by 5 players. It's only $20 an hour. It's not a lot. But it's also, I think some of our servers in restaurants here in Wisconsin literally get paid like $2.35 an hour plus tips. So it's weird, right? But to Tim's point, no prep. You sit down, right? If you were to charge $5 an hour for a 4-hour session, 20 times 5, $100 an hour. I got that math wrong. $100 an hour. And you prepped for 4 hours. So now it becomes 8 hours, right? Then it eats into your personal time and your margins. I just started doing kids games locally. It's very sweet. I think the biggest confusion is professional means you have been paid for a service and not essential the quality of your skills. Right. But I would argue, Orcus, that if you are a professional game master, that comes with different things. I think inherently. That doesn't mean it's happening. Just like professional plumbers. They may be a professional plumber. They get paid to do the job, but it doesn't mean that they're good or better, but they should be. Like, that's kind of why you pay them. Like, you don't get Uncle Side Job to do it. So, agreed, but that's a yes, but. Being a pro GM, nah. Paying one, maybe. I know and play with a huge number of amazing GMs who are also friends, so zero need. But if I couldn't find a good GM, Gabe says, as I've said before, Sean, I can't do that because I would expect a level of quality for my services. It would be a job. I would stop having fun. Totally understand that. That would be my reservation. I don't know if I could do it and have the gusto over time because of the added stress of expectations. I want to explore being a paid play-by-post GM, providing original character art for the players. No idea if this is possible. Well, John, they do have play-by-post GMs on Start Playing. If you must know. I'm not against it, to each their own, but no, I like the casual nature of gaming. I don't want to be a business transaction. Brace yourself, Sean. I'm not the target audience. Wayne, yes, not sure I want what I love to do to be my job, but maybe more lucrative than my current efforts. I think it is totally honorable. Okay, nice. Laramie agrees with Gabe. Mike says, I would not purposely enter the pro GM space, but if people handed me money, I would not rebuff them. In general, I would want to GM for free. I do not want to owe people an experience that they want. Orcus continues and said, sure, I'd be a professional paid GM and have before. During lockdown, I ran paid games for my friend's store to help keep him afloat and was given a cut of it. Ryan agrees with Jim and Gabe. John says the Iron Sworn system doesn't take much prep, just as an FYI. I would do 25, then do little prep. Arthico, I charge so that I could provide more bells and whistles for online games. Anything beyond that supports my hobby. I think the founder of the site said the average is 18 a game per person at the moment. Yeah, I think that's what I've heard too. Even Ginny, I think, mentioned it. I think he mentioned it in Ginny D's video. $20 an hour isn't much. Listen to Mr. Moneybags. It's not. It's actually after taxes. 20 an hour times 5 players. So you're saying you have a price. Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, so I wouldn't do it. Would you do it for $100 an hour? Right? To Ryan's point. $100 an hour. $200K a year. Take 35% off taxes. That's a good living, ladies and gentlemen. Assuming an 8-hour workday. Or even just a 4-hour workday. 4-hour workday. So you're making, $100,000 a year. I've paid to play a game. I can find a group to play the game I want at the time I want to play. Everyone is paying, so they're committed. The GM, who I don't know, has incentive to run it. says Farty. Right. So that's going to get into would you pay to play? Laramie, eats into your personal time. I mean, most of my free time is gaming books anyway, right? Mr. Shipman. Oh, good to see you, buddy. It's not mutually exclusive, right? You can be paid to run a game and you can run games for friends for free. Absolutely, no question. Do we get agitated when someone is paid to play guitar at a wedding than at the beach for pals? No. It is weird, though, that a lot of people, I mean, there's people who are like, no, it shouldn't happen. We should not charge. I'm like, why not? Who cares? You don't have to be the consumer or the person wanting to charge. Like, it's okay. Some of us are agitated all the time, Craig. Says Harrigan. Regardless. T-Dog. T-Dog. I think you would be paid more for your ability to tell a great story and immerse the people than spend hours to prep stuff. True, fair. Craig says, I would not run for money, but would pay to play. Question, Craig. I'm going to put Craig on the spot because I'm interested in that statement specifically for Craig. I would not run for money, but would pay to play. Craig, do you do a podcast? Yes. Do you do actual plays? Yes. Do you offer people at the seats at your table that are patrons? Yes. And I don't know if you don't. I don't know if you offer seats at your table for non-patrons. So, would Craig be a professional game master? Or is he getting paid to run? Craig, I would say yes. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. I'm on the internet. Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody's wrong on the internet. I wonder how much our general consensus is affected by our age range and or when we came into the hobby. Are newer gamers more apt to try this? That's interesting. Craig says, I slight no one who charges to run games and has customers. I'm the same. So be it. Right? What do I care? So weird. We get so uptight about stuff that doesn't even affect us. It's so weird sometimes. Anyways, Shambin, I'm in the same boat as Ryan. I just don't feel right having someone to pay me for something that I see as running for friends. Well, these would be customers. Though I have accepted gifts from some of my players, so I guess I am. Shellback Bow, $5 per player per hour. Yeah. I can't do math. Laramie says, in the eternal words of that philosopher of our time, Mr. Ted DiBiase, everybody has a price. Runeslinger, like writing, the joy can be lost when paid to run a game you don't like in a style or environment you don't appreciate. Otherwise, it's groovy. But why would you do that? You could put your game out there that you really love and run it. You don't have to pay. You don't have to be like, well, I mean, do this game, right? It's the market, man. Tad, good to see you. I definitely consider it. I'm almost doing it now with my intro to TTRPG extension class at the community college. Half the class is me running Shadowdark for them. Interesting. Harrigan, you'd be working way more than 40 hours a week. I don't believe that. Maybe. Maybe. I think if you run a game, I think you could do it without doing that. Maybe, I don't know. Like, could you prep an hour for a 4-hour session and then just run one game a week, 2 games a week? I don't know. And run it multiple times, right? Same game, 4 groups. I hope they all go in the same direction. Most paid GMs are not running for friends. Bingo. They're being paid to run a campaign for total strangers. Let's call them customers, right? Because that's what they are. They're clients. But they may know them, they may not. Strangers or not, right? Not everybody at a table may be a stranger. Somebody in the chat could say, hey, Sean, I'm going to run a pay-to-play game. I've run West Marches for patrons and non-patrons. Am I a professional GM? Hard because everyone usually becomes friends. Jim says, I guess I enjoyed performing in front of strangers. My answer would probably be different. Fair. Mike, when I GM for friends, the expectation is that we are all enjoying our time. When you are paid to GM, the expectation is that the people paying you are finding to experience worth the money. Are paying for an experience, right? For the money. Harrigan says, because most people want to pay for games that require prep, VTTs, maps, etc., and you have to market, hone your craft. Is that an assumption? I don't know. I mean, you would think about some of the, I don't know. I have so much to say. Here we go. Craig, I got to give Craig the floor. Patrons get preference, but not exclusive access. Thank you for clarification. I lose hundreds a year on the podcast and channel. Not a shock. Oddly, I see it different, but see your point. Okay, fair enough. I'm just being devil's advocate. Spurring conversation, Mr. Shipman. Mike says, I do not have an issue with paid GMing. I think it's just not for me. Fair. Ryan West, the wrong on the internet signal has been lit and has been since 83. Indeed. I've got no problem with other people GMing for pay. A gig's a gig. Yeah, man. Artists, right? Musicians, creatives. Pay them, right? It's probably so weird. I'm going to put this out there. It's the same people that probably have a problem with paid GMs are the same people that say, screw AI art, pay the artists. What? Yeah, of course. But why is one good and one not the other? It's sacred. The GMing seat is sacred. It should be totally volunteerism and utopic. Utopic? Utopic? I don't know what I'm talking about. Nice spin to avoid answering Sean's question, Craig. No, he answered it, I think. Wink, wink, emoji. Some people are upset that more games are being played. Right. You could say I make revenue for running games. If you're billing 2,000 hours a year, well, that's the rub, right? How do you start charging your players? Should I just pass around a tip jar? No, I don't think so. I think there's two things, right? There's those of us that run for our friends. Friends. Now my group on Thursday is going to be like, Sean, are we your friends? And then there's running it for customers. And your friends aren't maybe not your customers. Your customers can be potentially your friends. It depends on the business arrangement, if you will. If you were to run, for those that are like, yeah, I would consider doing that. Maybe I retire. I don't have anything going on. I'm going to run games. All my friends are like off in the different 5 winds of the world. And I want to do this. And instead of becoming a Walmart greeter, I'm going to run. Maybe it's one game every 2 weeks. Start playing one campaign. You love it. You have nothing else to do. You make, at this time, when you're retired, you might be making, I don't know, maybe $100 a game, which is like probably equivalent to $12 an hour now. Who knows, right? Whatever. How does that differ? What is the expectations of a pro GM? As a player, too. And I say this because well, maybe I'm exploring this. Maybe Sean wants to become a professional game master, and now I'm just doing this research analysis to determine what that means. What do I need to be a good GM from a player perspective that you would pay? Who doesn't work more than $40 an hour per week? Who doesn't work more than 40 hours a week? I'm used to working 70 hours plus a week. I don't work 70 hours. No way, man. I used to. Not anymore. Prior to 2020, I ran on the clock at work for our customers. As Eileen had worked in a game store, they paid the store to play. I was paid by the store. It was fun, though I'm not sure I'd do it again. Constant prep was exhausting. Don't worry about typing errors, Mike. I can barely talk and read. Victor, paying players usually stick with the GMs they like. I'm sure that turns into some level of friendship. Yeah. Farty said, holy cow, is that a long handle, Farty? The one guy built up a Discord over the years. He sells the games he wants to run to those on his Discord first. He has repeat customers that join multiple games. Heavy VTT prep is a 5e assumption. I could tell you this from experience, at least at this time, right? In the past, when I loaded Foundry and I imported Curse of Strahd, for example, for 5e, there was a plugin that would literally, it's an extension that would literally, you log into your D&D Beyond account, you go to the Curse of Strahd pages, and you hit the browser extension. And that would port all that information into Foundry. And not only would it port all that information of the scenario into Foundry, it would actually bring in those maps. It would create the walls. It would key the areas and put in all the journal entries. Okay. So once that was done, now some would be like, oh, it sounds like very, very, very video game, Sean. So let me rephrase it. This sounds like very video game, Sean. And it may be, but it may not be the type of game you like to play. But I'll say this. Dynamic lighting was all done. All the shadows were done. I think it might even have had audio. Maybe not audio, right? It had all the things. And so literally all I would have to do, and in addition, if I created a campaign on D&D Beyond, and those players created their player characters into that campaign, I could import their player characters into Foundry as well. If I did that at the beginning, I think it would literally maybe take me less than an hour, for sure. Like if I had no errors, everything went smoothly, bing, bam, boom. Then when I do that, I put the game down, we start the game. Literally, as they say, well, I go to the door. If it's locked, it will lock on the VTT. You say, okay, you enter the room. Say the GM controls the tokens so they don't go crazy. You move them all into the room. It's already there. I click on the number. The journal entry comes up and I can read the room description. Like minimal prep. It's no different than having Curse of Strahd of the book and then having to page through it and make notes and all that other stuff. Like it's all there. And if I did want to make notes, I could. It'd be very easy. Harrigan says, revenue is indeed revenue. I'm just challenging the assumption you'd be paid for every working hour, which means your hourly rate is lower. Right. And I'm talking about start playing, not running live in shops. Michael says, true, art comes in many forms. I don't mind folks getting paid for their talent. Harrigan says, there's a corporate angle too. So there's another thing. That's a good point. I want to bring that up to Harrigan. There's another site that actually does that. I think they hire you. It's probably an independent contractor, maybe, or an employee. I don't know, but it's probably part-time. And you do corporate gigs, which I have actually thought about. The problem is it doesn't really lend itself to virtual meetings, unless everybody's like remote, and then you could probably easily do it because it's a uniform thing. I don't think it would be beneficial if the company was like, we're in person all the time. Oh, and we hired a GM to do team building, but that GM is not flown in to run the game. And I do think there is huge, dude, corporate will pay. Like corporates, like if they paid you a flight per diem and like $5,000, it is a spit in the bucket, right? Like, corporate bad, capitalism bad. Not if they're paying you. But going to Harrigan's, like multiple tables. Hi, I'm a professional game master. Some of you might know Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to run something similar. It's going to be a team building exercise. So we're going to have these character classes, and each one does a little special thing, much like your own stupid departments, right? You can see the analogy. Oh, and by the way, the game master may be what would be similar to like a manager or leader, right? Maybe kind of customers. Like they play a little everything. Orcus says, you're right, Harrigan, and I would like to introduce to some committee teachers I know. Runeslinger, right, Sean? If it ends up being your job, the market might offer more control over what you get paid to do than a person might like. If not, no problem. Gabe, I'm an adversarial GM. I can't imagine getting a paycheck after killing PCs. Another good point, right? Like, do you pull punches if you're a professional game master? Like, wait a minute, hold on. I didn't sign up to pay for this. Every time I play in Gabe's like game, I pay him like, $20 a session. I pay him $5 an hour and he kills my characters all the time. Runeslinger continues, but personally, I only want to play these games with friends. Totally fine. Totally get it. Gabe, just get adversarial players. Boom, bang, bing. Shambot says, ultimately, I'm okay with people paying to play and charging to run. It's not for me, though I've accepted gifts. Farty says, 2 of the GMs I've paid listed themselves as neurodivergent. I think this is a type of business fits them very well. One was in Eastern Europe. $20 US is a different payoff. Oh, true, right? Trust me, I work at corporate. If they outsource, case in point. Zwiefer says, my group shares a meal before we play as GM. I was told to never worry about bringing anything. I'm paid, just not monetarily. Harrigan says, yeah, Gabe, I could do it, but I have no repeat customers. One and done. Orcus, hardly anyone gets paid for every minute they associate with work. It's a rare job that pays well that you can just turn off after 8 hours, especially if you're a sole proprietor or business owner. T-Dog, I would prefer to teach people how to play so they can run games themselves, but you also have the people who don't have lots of friends close to gather their own group. Well, not only that, but I think like you could teach somebody to GM and they would know the game. Like there are players that know games better than me, right? They know all the rules and everything. They cannot GM. It's just not in them. They get nervous, the anxiety, they lose things. It's like there's GMs that think they're great GMs. Case in point, Gamehole Con. There's GMs, some people were the players in, they're like, and you've been to a convention, crappy GMs. Like, yikes. Tim, definitely don't rely on a VTT for a regular paid game. There are too many technical pitfalls. True, especially if you're always getting new players. Orcus agreed, but I just think Sean's 100 times 2,000 is off. Well, that's true. You're right. It's assuming an 8-hour workday. $20.80. That's what that's the amount of hours. Typical 8-hour workday yearly. I also have no earthly idea why anyone would have issues with people playing this way. Right. I don't either. But they do. Trying to imagine Harrigan running his usual milieu as a corporate gig. And that's not a bad idea. Yeah, never trust my math for sure. Oh, I'm doing it. I'm like not thinking about it. I'm just up here talking, so it's hard to like talk in math for Sean. They have the cash. Corporate is probably what T-Dog's referring to. See you, Zweefer. We'll talk to you later, man. Good to see you. Thanks for bringing cider, man. Zweefer brought cider to Gamehole Con and homemade root beer. It's fantastic. Thanks, Zweefer. See you, Todd. Both are people being attacked on a near daily basis. Oops, I don't know. I missed the context on Laramie. That's okay. A lot of discussion going back and forth. Just kind of skirting over some of those. Runeslinger. I do a lot of training using RPGs as a basis for work. It can be fun, but it's rarely satisfying play for me, despite being very satisfying work. That's assuming you are running 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, or billing appropriately, right? What's up, Cypher? Talking about pay to play, running professional GMs. I still want to put myself out on start playing like $100 a session per player. See what happens. It's a lot of work. I can't imagine the amount of work, but the people that enjoy it, why not, right? Why not? Maybe all game masters should get paid. Oh, there's a hot take. What? Let me ask you this. If your players showed up to your game tomorrow and said, you know what? I feel bad because you do all this freaking work. We're going to start paying you. We're just going to start. There's some of us in the chat that are like, yeah, they pay for my food and drink. They told me never to worry about that. Okay, fine. That's what they want to do. That's different than money. Would you take it? We're going to pay you. We don't want to hear it. We want something for your efforts. Tim says the way to do this as a year-round games on demand format where you have a dozen different games ready and just play in 2 or 4 hour slots at a regular location. Brett, are we talking about things that others are doing that I don't do? Clearly, they are doing it wrong. Right, exactly. Good to see you, Brett. My takeaway from Ginny's video is also that people want consistent long-form campaigns. So let's talk about, why would we want to pay for, Farty's in the chat. He's like, man, I paid for a couple games. So what? Who cares? Yeah, and I like it. That's why. Why? Because I think you nip some of the low-hanging, some of the weirdness that comes with just your friends. My friends. They're friends. Yeah, friends that ghost you, friends that piss you off, friends that, you get into arguments about at the table, whatever, right? They're those friends? Not everybody. I'm being facetious. I'm hyping it up. Come on. I'm on YouTube for Christ's sake. But let's face it. You pay to play. Everybody at the table is paying. So there is a level of expectation. They're going to be invested. No, wait, Brett. No, I would not take money from my friends for running games. I wonder how that $50 bill ended up in Brett's couch. That's weird. Who put that shit there? I don't know, Brett. I accept bribes, but not payment. Very good. I wouldn't accept cash, but would accept a gift, RPG, book, or food. Is that any different? Somehow I think it is. The barter system. Cash is no good here. Send me your chickens. What? A goat? Perfect. I don't know, man. Why do we hate cash so much? I wouldn't let me home game players pay like that. We're friends playing at a friendly game. Does it complicate things? As exhausting and potentially detrimental to my enjoyment of the hobby it would be. I would rather get paid to run 40 hours a week running games than being stuck in a soul-crushing cubicle for 40 hours. Amen. Curtis Takahashi, we're bringing them all out of the cracks today. Must have been the topic. How you doing, Curtis? Good to see you. Friends that are not available. Yeah. I think some people who pay to play are trying to play those games the regular group won't play. Wouldn't let you try new things when your group doesn't want to. It's 5E or bust. The home group, 5E or bust. Sorry. No way. No way, Harrigan. Not playing anything but 5E. You want to do that? I don't know what to tell you. We're playing 5E. I don't want to play anything else. In my P2P 3.5 game, we started this bi-weekly campaign in August 2021. We're level 13 now. Victor says it also lets you play a long campaign if your group never pulls off successful campaigns. Brett says he would accept a free chicken. There you go. See, it's so weird. Cash, no. Chicken, yes. It's the form of currency, folks. That matters. That's what I'm understanding. You guys kill me. Noting a side topic from the video, when players play for their GM, the group has less issues with scheduling, ghosting, and or people paying attention. Charge them $1. Like that's why some of these cons pay for an event, because otherwise people just bail. Now, some people bail regardless. Case in point, but they are more likely to show up. Even like it's a weird psychological thing. Like it's a predictably irrational. Like if you have them pay $1, they feel more obligated than if they pay nothing, because there's no value then. I'm going ahead to check with HR and ethics to see the maximum amount of a gift I can accept. Right. Or Michael continues, or that was a claim. I don't know that myself. Right. I would also never run a long-form campaigns for pay. That's too much of a headache just with scheduling issues. Maybe. Now that I think of it, I have run lots of games at work, which I was arguably being paid for. Right, you're on salary. There's no unpaid lunch. Jim's on the clock running games. Corporate GM right there. Didn't even know it. Gabe says, in the tradition paradigm, GMs spend a lot more on the hobby than players. Bingo, for sure. Helping the GM with materials cost is very different than paying for services. I agree. I agree with you, Gabe. I would not accept money from my friends. It converts the experience from one of my intrinsic enjoyment to extrinsic reinforcement. I run for my friends out of affection for them. Wayne, perhaps we should think of it like a movie theater subscription from a player's point of view, not saying that the cost is comparative. Harrigan says Akadokin, Akodakin. You can pronounce it any way you want. Depends on where you're from. Akodakin, I actually think that's the main driver for players. I totally agree. I'm sure the driver for paying for a game, Vardy, you could tell us why you do it, but I'm going to guess I don't have anybody, like, I want to play this game, and my group or whoever I'm associated with isn't running it, and I don't want to convince them to, right? It's dude, start playing, and a paid GM is the opt-in. Like, when I talk about opting in to play a game or offering it and you're putting it out there and people are opting in to play your game versus like, hey guys at the home group, I really, really want to run this game. What do you guys think? Well, okay, we'll give you a shot. Like, that's not opt-in. Like, it's putting it out there. This is what it's going to do. This is what we're going to run. This is the game. This is when. And this is how long. Yes, I want that, please. So a professional game master advertising it anywhere they want, whether it's start playing or not, opt in, paying. This is what I expect. Bang, bam, boom. But I would imagine that is the one. The other thing is, so it's the type of game. There's a certain level of expectation. It's going to be run consistently, assuming the GM's not a flake and gets sick. And I bet on Start Playing, there's probably some shitty GMs too. And they probably don't show up all the time. And they probably don't have the highest star rating, blah, blah, blah. Like there is like, but the thing is like there's some low hanging fruit, man. If you show up every week because you say, I'm going to run a game Wednesday night at 7:00 Central Time, that's like it. Like that's all you want. That's so weird that that's the bar. It's the demand. It's like the demand or the supply, I should say. The supply that some of us demand is so like, what? Is this the consistent GM that runs every week at 7 p.m. like they say they are? Wow, that's weird. Whoa, that's worth something to somebody. Especially like older folks like me and you who, you know, our time is precious, man, at points in time. Now, it's not to say that a home group or even a professional group isn't going to have those occasional like, yeah, well, a family emergency, I can't run. And I think as people, the communication piece is like, I get it. I understand. Let's have some empathy. Like and subscribe. That's right. Thanks, Ryan. Like and subscribe. Thanks. But the player, Jim says, but the players weren't paying me. Our mutual employer was. Ah, there you go. You have paid players and you as a GM. We're being paid by the corporate entity. What if a sports team paid its opponents and referees? Well, let's see. Talk about the 1920 something White Sox, I guess, or no, I guess they didn't get paid. They just threw the game, right? I don't know. I mean, the opponent does get paid and the referees get paid. The sports team just doesn't pay him. Or do they? It's a league thing, right? Chicken as treasure, 1 chicken equals 1 XP. Boom, bam. Chicken coming, right? 2 chickens a badge. Please design the chicken equal XP system. I assume we are wolves or some other predator. When I see the issues other groups have with players, attention, schedule, etc., I realize how lucky I have to have my group. Yep. It's Laramie. Harrigan says, right, Brett. Now imagine not having that group and not being able to find one. Orcus. Well, if you are a professional GM, you are running a business and should have a cancellation clause. Less than 24 hours, you still get charged. Absolutely. Force majeure, right? I wonder how many everybody knows what force majeure is as of 2020. I'm going to do it. I'm going to run it. I'm going to run a professional game. I declare. Might not be now. Probably when I retire. Yeah, I'll run one game. Why not? Who cares? Who cares? See what happens. Falls apart. Ends up like crap. I retire again. Chicken Con 2025. Come for the game, stay for the fried chicken. Booyah. Fried chicken is damn good. And in some solid RPGs, we're spitting diamonds here, right? Now we're talking about fried chicken. Great, you guys are awesome. Do we get what I see for rare types of chicken? Oh God, here we go. Chickens, chicken con, fried chicken, chicken truck. Run top secret. Booyah. Boom. Mic drop. We should pick one of us to go explore this game space like an investigative reporter. It has crossed my mind. Right. Agreed, Jim. I don't know. I also want to play in one. I want to see what it's about. I want to see what the expectations are. I want to see the differences. And then I would do that and I would come back to my home group and go, hey, you know, this GM did this. I'm just saying. Like, would they shoot? Like, would they lift your expectations so high? Is it going to ski in the Alps and then you go back to Wisconsin and want to ski and wah, wah. I haven't skied since 1997 for a reason. Is it possible a paid game master does that? You played in one, Sean. You said it was great. Would you pay to be in a game as a result? I did not play in one. I don't think I have. I mean, other than GameholeCon. I think, Sean, you'd want to play in multiple pay-to-play games to see how it works and such. Sample size of one isn't counting. Fair. Good point. We've always got room for a sixth player if you want to sign up. The world's largest dungeon on Start Playing. Oh, seriously? You're going to pay? Okay, interesting. I don't know if I would want to do a dungeon crawl. One of the things I would love to do is doing a Delta Green game that I haven't played, a scenario. Right? Delta Green, a scenario I haven't read, or I maybe read and totally forgot about, which is totally possible, to see how the game master pulls it off. And say, I want to become a better game master. I'm going to pay to play in a game to see if I can glean any insight. I totally spent my money I made as a paid DM on more games for my shelf that I can't get to the table. Right, Dad? So I think we agree. I think we can all humbly agree that, hey, if somebody wants to run for money, great. If they want to pay to play in a game, great. We have those that are like, but I'm going to run for my home group because they're my friends and that's the deal. Great. Fantastic. Like, it's a big world. We can all live in it. It's happy, fantastic. We also understand that the expectations for a paid game are different and some of us don't feel comfortable in providing that. It would be work. It doesn't, like, I don't want my hobby and my fun to be a work job. Others have like, I've paid. It's great. It's fantastic. The expectations are great. I get to pick the game, blah, right? So there. Some of us would do it only for chickens. I think that's what we all come to understand today, right? Okay. I think that's how we can kind of start to wrap this up, if you will. To Brett's point, so what happens when you pay to play? GM is great, but you have another player that you don't like. Oh, don't get along with, etc. You get a refund? Just got a deal? That's a good point. Meeting notes. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Boom, bam. It's a good point, Brett. Yep. Good point. That's what Brett's home group is like, because Brett's home group is the same players forever. None of them have moved on. They all play the same. Brett never complains about a home group player, ever. But Sean, that's my home group. I'm not paying for it, which I understand. I hear you, dude. I get it. It's the same as a home group, though. But yeah, how do you do it when you're need to bounce? Third Floor Wars just showed up. Need to bounce. I'm running a game for a few friends for free. See you, Craig. Good to see you, man. Thanks for chiming in, dude. Good luck with the game. Go check out Third Floor Wars, Craig Shipman's podcast. Check them out on Twitch as they stream actual plays all the time. Check out Orcus Dorcas's RPG Shenanigans. He's been doing some interviews, and he also has some crazy unboxings. Yet another boring unboxing, I believe, videos on his channel. Go check that out. Who else am I plugging? Harrigan's Hearth. Harrigan's Hearth at Substack. There's also on our Discord. Who else can I plug? Who else is creating stuff? Jim, you got stuff published out there? Gabe, what's your publishing handle on Drive-Thru? Gabe Dibbing's podcast, Analytic Dice, where they don't promote any of their stuff. Just so you know, you could buy stuff from Gabe that he actually has put out and published, as well as Kevin Salthart, the co-host, who's done Burn 2D6. I'm going through the chat. Who am I missing? I can't even scroll all the way up. It only allows me to scroll so far. CheapCon. Laramie's running CheapCon in Iowa in January. Go to CheapCon. Anthony, I mentioned earlier. It's Runeslinger. Check out his podcast, YouTube channel. Who am I missing? Michael Spredeman, thank you for chiming up. He's got a Kickstarter. He's the one that's got the, it's DCC, right, Michael? I put it up on stream. I don't think, I put it up on stream when you weren't here one week. Brett's doing something. Avalon Podcast. Check out Brett's Avalon Podcast with Chris Sneezak. So if you were Team Brett when it was Gaming and BS, go check that out. Mike says, I'll soon have a published book. I will let you all know when it is out on Drive-Thru. Please do. BS or COD 5 is coming, I guess. Third weekend in January is probably the date. Forge Midwest, April 2026. Go check out Tim Jensen's and his spouse's con that they host every year here in Madison, Wisconsin. Very indie game camp kind of approach. There's no pre-reg. You show up. Geez, I don't even know if you guys charge, do you, Tim? Right? You know? Hirelings to Heroes. Thanks, Michael. Hirelings to Heroes Kickstarter. Crowdsource is out there or coming. There's the Under the Lamplight Avalon podcast. That's the one Brett's on. Who else am I missing? Anybody? This is it. Don't be shy. Cypher Unlimited. Go check out those guys. They got a big Discord. Like if you are in the Cypher space and you don't know Cypher Unlimited, what in the hell are you doing? Go check those folks out. They're Cypher, like they bleed Cypher. Like they just do. Currently running a registered student at UC Santa Cruz. I'm teaching adventure design next quarter. If you want to enroll in Tad's game or Tad's courses, check that out. Can you do it remote? Tad, can you do it online? Is it an online course? Or you got to be there in Santa Cruz? Pay what you want, Tim says, for Forge Midwest. BSRCon 5 needs some kind of alien 1980s TV show theme to it. V. Right? Should just be V. Everybody know the V TV show? V. I wasn't even born yet. Thanks everybody for the discussion. Let's get into like news and all that stuff. I know we're like over the hour and I know a lot of people bail. If you bail, hit the like button or dislike or subscribe or the bell, all the good things. Check out GoBag. Here, Harrigan and I host on Covert Ops, espionage themed role-playing games. Check it where you find all great podcasts. Okay, I think I pimped out everybody's shows and things that they are doing. Not bailing, you're stuck with me. Fantastic. Let's go into the things that some people will probably enjoy more than the discussion or not. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's whip it. Whip it good. GameholeCon made the ICV2 website bills as largest majority RPG gaming convention. We're the biggest RPG majority gaming convention. Yep, in Madison. Check it out. 6,000 attendees this year. Apparently, that's what the numbers they got, and it must have hit Alex up. I'm hoping so. 6,000 at GameholeCon, up from around 5,500 in 2024. Show draws fewer attendees than the biggest tabletop gaming shows like Gen Con, PAX, MagicCon, Origins, but more than many smaller shows. So it's a good happy medium, right? Of course, they talk a little bit about where it's at. Even touch on GaryCon briefly. They've surpassed GaryCon. Organizer Alex Kammer expressed surprise at this year's growth, given the drop-off in international attendees this year, a phenomenon that was also visible at Gen Con. Attendance, he quotes, attendance is up, which is great, given the real-world challenges we're all facing. End quote, Kammer told us. Quote, we've lost many, many international attendees that come every year, and they're not here this year. We're very happy to be up any margin, and the fact that we're up 10% is delightful and very surprising, quite frankly. Kammer said other countries with fewer attendees this year included Canada and Italy. Number of exhibitors has also been growing. Great exhibit hall, I would say. I bought some stuff. Founded 10 years ago. And is named for the basement where the organizers used to play, with a nod to Tolkien and his reference in The Hobbit to a hobbit hole, which he wrote means comfort. So there you go. So Game Hole. If you can get there, great. Awesome. Having said that, I wanted to bring Bryn to people's attention. So those that were there and some that bought from her were like, dude, her art is awesome. So Bryn is located here in Wisconsin. She had a booth there. I figured I'd give her a shout out. I actually have one of her maps that I bought from her. I think Jim bought some prints. So if you're interested, I will probably put the link for ICV2 in the chat. Sorry. So you all can check it out. Boom. And so Bryn, I like Bryn's stuff. Black and white line art. It's fantastic. I will show you, if I can, since I'm sharing my screen, here's some of her artwork. It's great, great, great. And you could buy some of her stuff, and she does do commissions. Where is portfolio? I think it is. Where's her maps? I thought her maps were on here. It's like half her stuff missing. Meet the artist, get in touch. View portfolio. What is going on? I'm like seeing, I thought she had more stuff on here. Oh man. Did she take stuff off? Dude, it's so weird because those maps are gone, man. What am I missing? Some of the guys are like, dude. She had her maps on here. I wanted to show you guys, but I think she took them down. Maybe she's getting inundated. So odd. We were just on here the other night, the RPG group, cruising her stuff. I thought she had these stuff on here. Maybe I'm wrong. She took her stuff down in fear of the Sean Street. Yeah, I don't know about that. Victor says there might have been a different stream. Okay, well, regardless, if you want to check her out, she did do artwork for an RPG, and you can get it through that RPG publisher's website, to Victor's point. So, I don't know. She does great work. I'm excited to see her at the con again next year. I hope it was beneficial for her to be there. Next. That's right. GURPS 4th edition have revised announced, which is weird because Steve Jackson was at GameholeCon and he made an announcement that he said on stevejacksongames.com, sjgames.com, about, guess what? Munchkin. Dude, I don't know. I think he must be mad at GURPS. Stop asking me about GURPS. From Douglas Cole on the GURPS forums, which I couldn't find and they didn't link to, but this is on EN World. GURPS 4th edition revised monkeys out of the sack. 0. It won't be years. Most of the work is already done. By far biggest differences are major changes to physical layout and design. I'm not sure what SJ leaked at GameholeCon. I don't know either. So I'm not going to go into detail here beyond saying the thing will be easier to use and read. It will not look the same, despite number 3 below, which is top priorities to preserve page references so that whether you use the basic set 4th edition revised, an internal page and external points you in the same rules. Okay. So there you go. It's not 5th edition. They're just probably updating some stuff. But time to get into, what was the Munchkin announcement? No idea. Go to sjgames.com. I think it's like the first news thing. Uncle Steve is the best. He is. He was at Gamehole Con. I didn't see him. Long live Uncle Steve. Uncle Steve, yeah. Free League is announced. Trudvang has announced the next Dragonbane content, 4-volume set featuring the Celtic and Norse-inspired world of Trudvang. This week, Free League announced trade this, which is based on the board game Trudvang, originally published by Cool Mini or Not. The board game was. Set will include World Book, Book of Heroes, Georgie's Bestiary, and the Black Sun. There you go. If you are a Dragonbane fan and want more stuff, there it comes to you. One of the few games in Free League's portfolio that I do not have or own. Next up, I don't know if you're aware of this, Roll20 now has $150 a year. I thought it was like $150 a month. I was like, what? I better be kick ass. Well, apparently there's $150 per year tier on Roll20, which is kind of set up for, hey, professional game masters, ironically enough. What do you get for it, says Sean. Dungeon Scrawl Pro is the one thing that is not offered in lower tiers, but is at this one. It is considered the yearly elite. So they have free, plus, pro, and elite. So if you're elite, dude, you need this thing. But I think it is the only thing that you get. Well, that's not true. You get, it goes from 10 gigabytes of storage from pro to 50 gigabytes of storage in elite. I'm trying to see like anything else. Owned content sharing, you can go from 5 games of 15 players to 20 games with 15 players. So I think those are the 3 major changes from pro to elite. If you're not like a person that subscribes to Roll20, then you won't care. But nonetheless, I thought it was interesting. Is 2026 going to be the year of the professional game master? Maybe. Right? What is this? Why is this in front of me? Stupid thing. Next. Yeah, here's the Geek Native thing where it says, yeah, but see, it said, the new Elite tier does not replace or alter the free Plus or Pro subscriptions. Instead, it bundles all Pro features such as dynamic lighting, API access, Roll20 Reserve rewards with a significant expansion of 2 key resources, storage and content sharing. Maybe. Perhaps more significant for professional GMs and those running West March style games, the compendium sharing feature has been quadrupled. Elite users can now share their purchased rulebooks across 20 different games with up to 15 players in each game for a total of 300 player slots. Whoa! So there you go. I will put it in the link to the article that you guys can. Gabe says, I play Munchkin with my children all the time. They love it. It's a family institution, way more accessible to them than TTRPGs. Must do well. Like, it's like the big thing that they're doing. Dragonlance Revival hinted as Weiss, Hickman, and Manganello join Wizards of the Coast project. So Dragonlance is back, baby. After, hey, Dragonlance is dead. Long live Dragonlance. It's not dead. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it's not. Ayub Dan Ayub, the relatively new head of the D&D franchise, the Wizard of the Coast, has signaled the return of the setting's original creators. Shared a photograph on X featuring himself, Weiss, Hickman, Laura also was there, and Manganello at the Wizards of the Coast offices. His caption strongly hinted at a reunion project. When I took over D&D, I had some very specific folks I wanted to bring back to the table. Today, I had the honor of welcoming these folks back home. Amazing things ahead. We shall see. There you go. Check it, check it. Next up. It's official. Wizards of the Coast confirms D&D's sigil. VTT is shutting down. Gleemax is dead. Long live Gleemax. / sigil. So, in a new Sigil Sunset FAQ posted on the D&D Beyond support site, the company announced that the VTT servers will be permanently shut down on October 31st, 2026. Until that date, users can continue to access their campaigns and all existing features. So there you go. Wah, wah. Just, as a note, Wizards is going all in on video games. That is the deal. All right. I don't know if I did news. Did I do the intro to the news? Bundles? Bundle of Holdings got 3 of them this week. Nightmares Underneath. Core book, Dungeon Full of Monsters, and much more. It's old, dark dungeon, tabletop fantasy role-playing. They've resurrected the August 2023 Nightmares Underneath bundle featuring the Nightmares Underneath, the old-school horror fantasy tabletop role-playing game from Chthonstone. Chthonstone. I don't know. Why can't these guys pronounce our name? So check that out. They also have, probably at the top, the other ones that I was going to touch on, which includes Eclipse Phase 2E. So if you ever tried Eclipse Phase by Posthuman Studios, check that out, that bundle. And then I think the last one was that I was going to bring up was Ghastly Affair. Ghastly Affair by Daniel James Hanley's tabletop role-playing game of gothic and romantic horror in the decadent, disastrous age of Marie Antoinette, Napoleon, and Lord Byron. In the ghastly age of Europe, 1765 to 1820, you could be imperiled, true innocent, seeking kindness in a wicked world, a libertine pursuing dangerous liaisons in salons, and ballrooms, a demon hunter tracking the horrors of the light. Sounds very Penny Dreadful. Sounds like to me. But anyways, if you're interested, check those out. I'll just put this last one in there, and you can navigate to the rest of the bundles if you are so inclined. All right. That's all I have for bundles. Print. Print news. Tome of Intangible Treasures, Deck of Things, box set of Intangible Treasures by Lone Colossus Games for D&D 2024. Get it if you want. Dungeon Master Deck of Side Quests, box set, 75 mini adventures to provide GMs with a quick and easy storytelling boost. System says Fantasy RPGs. Slug Blaster by Wilkie's Candy Lab, Forged in the Dark. Look at that acid trip cover. Hardcover core rulebook for $40 is available. PCs are teenage hoverboarders from the small town of Hillview who are always ready to kickflip over a quantum centipede. Rue from Ruin, Exalted Funeral, Lunar Call System, inspired by predecessors like Ironsworn and Cyan Starlight, Blades in the Dark, Marvel Heroic Role-Playing. It's a hardcover solo rulebook. You play a lone wolf. Lone wolf pack of one. Now that you're a werewolf, none of the stories and movies seem far-fetched. You are betrayed and turned, and that's just the start of your problems. There you go. Next one, The Moonlit Path. Seeing a kind of a theme going on here. Werewolf the Apocalypse, 5th edition. Hardware supplement. There you go. A, DCC, baby. Core rulebook. It's out there in print now, just in case you were wondering. It's the 12th printing. They probably removed our podcast from it. Boo, boo, boo. Let me know. So if you need one, 12 printings, baby. And last, Black Dracolich Dragon Mini 28mm by WizKids Game. It is for the D&D 24 edition. You can't use that miniature in any other game, just so you know. Okay, all right, there you go. Next up, crowdfunding. Yeah, all right, crowdfunding. Pendragon, yes, the first edition. Back, baby, 1985, coming back to you. Nostalgia, hit it, get it, bam, boom, bang. It's at $102,000. It's a core rules reprint. $99 is the most popular pledge, which probably gets you like the box set for everything that it comes with, and PDF. So box set, core rulebook, campaign setting, and more. There you go. Next one, Dark Forest. Redwall meets 1E in a Shadowdark world from Castle Clark. Systems, Shadowdark RPG with some advanced Dungeons and Dragons first edition. What? Most popular pledge is $59. They don't use AI. This campaign, Redwall, Mouse Guard, The Secret of Nim, and more inspired this version of Shadowdark, which could have been titled Critterdark, but it isn't. Using this fun, violent setting, you play as an anthropomorphic version of a D&D character in a fantasy world. Hey, Marco, check this out, buddy. It's at $102,000. Pledged, funded, bam. Next, Ragnaborg, because why not, Merkborg? Ragnaborg RPG from Broken Brain Games. Kickstarter system is Merkborg. If you guess that, you are right. At Dice Plus Diversion 25, played Ragnaborg. It's funded at $55,000. Art heavy, rules light, Viking RPG. Yeah. Next one. Fizzwhip's Treasury of Absurd Curiosities for D&D 5th or Daggerheart. And system neutral. All right, then. There you go. That's funded. Next one, Cosmic Corsairs. Aetherspace needs heroes, so grab your laser pistol, gather your crew, board your starship, and set sail. The war is just beginning. Ooh. Core rulebook, just funded. There you go. It is the roll track system, if you're familiar with that. The Triarchy rules the 10 worlds. You travel to space between them in your spaceship. Labeled a pirate, you are the enemy of these tyrants. With cosmic powers, you fight a government that controls a solar system. Ooh, Huckleberry. Uh-oh, Weird West. Look out, you guys look at this, hey. From Stephen Alexander, it's original system, core rulebook. Most popular pledge is $70. Want Weird West? What? Where only players make the rolls? Huh? One where you're a bounty hunter at the end of a world of monsters? Your only backup is your sex shooter? Not your sex shooter, your six shooter. Huckleberry is calling, inspired by Tombstone, A Fistful of Dollars, Hellboy, and Lord Baltimore. This project includes a 160-page core rulebook. Huckleberry, a Weird West RPG, as well as the adventure hook Huckleberry, A Season of Avarice. Next one, Under the Shadow of the Moon Day Witch by Ham and Egg Publishing. Ham and Egg Publishing is, I believe, John Hambone McGuire's shop, if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong? I don't want to say that's the case if I'm wrong. It's for System Sickest Witch RPG. It's OSR style political thriller with a lot of blood and magic. Boom, bam, boom. Boom, boom, bam, boom. It's funded. Wrestlemania, Symphony of the Fight. Wrestlemania. Backer kit powered by Polymorph. It's Castlevania meets WrestleMania. Ultra Dracula conquered Greco-Romania, and your professional wrestler characters are the only way he can be stopped. Well, duh. Next one, Spy Master's Toolkit supplement from Black Hats Gaming. I kicked in for that. It is not funded. Ooh. I don't know if it's going to get funded. What? It's got a lot. Wait a minute. Yeah. You got to get 151 pounds per day to get that funded. Spy Game uses 5e to build a modern world and spying and espionage. Think Mission Impossible and 007. So this is like that's going to be unfortunate if you can't get that funded by Black Hats Game. There you go. Next one, Classic NPC Codex by Weiler, 5th edition and Level Up Advanced. That's funded. Oh, there's a few this week. Starfinder Afterlight from Epic Tellers and Paizo. A collab. Want to play Starfinder as a video game? There you go. That's what this is. 76,000 euros. It's at $500,000. Wow. Wowie, wow. There you go. There you go. That's all I got. That's all I got, folks. I want to thank everybody here for being patrons of this show, and as well as GoBag and supporting me, my endeavors, as well as Harrigan. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here this weekend. It's good discussion. Had a good turnout. Very much good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, I stream here every Saturday, 8 a.m. Central Time. Play some games. Be a positive force. Check out this video if you're so inclined that I've recorded. That would be great. Otherwise, I will see you hopefully next weekend. Peace.